All right, let's get into it. It's been a while since I posted a video due to basketball. I'm always dealing with basketball, man. Just doing numerous posts and writing on forums and things of that nature. I love basketball, love all sports really, but let's talk about basketball for a second, especially dealing with LeBron. Should have been posting a whole lot of that on Hampton TV. Never did finish getting that started, Ended up making some major moves between California and Atlanta. Had to come out here to the ATL, take care of some business. So with that being said, let's just get into it. We got this whole deal with LeBron again, getting ready to make another major move, or not. But the bottom line is that, we got to talk about it. So let's talk about it. You got LeBron, you got Melo, and then you can throw in Kevin Love. Now let's talk about this for a minute. LeBron, Kevin Love, and Melo are on different playing fields when it comes down to putting these guys in the same category. You can't do it, due to the fact that LeBron is one of the more perennial superstars in the league and dealing with basketball, period. When you start talking about basketball with LeBron, you got to start talking about icon status. A lot of people are going to say no, they're going to start throwing in Kobe or whoever, but the bottom line is that he's the main guy for this generation right now. There is no more Allen Iverson, no more T-Max, no more Kobe Bryants. The main guys that you're going to hear mentioned in this generation is going to be mainly LeBron. You're going to hear a little bit about Melo. You're going to hear some about Kevin Durant. That's what you're going to hear. You're going to hear, there's a lot of other guys to mention, but the bottom line is when you start talking about the elite guys in the game right now, you're going to be talking about him. And the bottom line is that LeBron, when he came into the league, he stated that he wanted to be a global icon. So with that being said, if you want to be an icon, then you have to play for legacy. And he's already won 2 rings. No matter if you want to argue, which the second one that he got or what have you, or the first one, he's an NBA 2-time NBA champion. So with that being said, LeBron only has very few options on where he can go to complete what he wants to complete. Now, if you want to throw in Los Angeles, go right ahead, but you have to consider the fact that LA already has a whole legacy, a legacy established as an organization to begin with. You got all of those superstars over there and icons that have come way before him, way before Kobe, and have been, shrined in that place. So he can't go to Los Angeles and be the guy that he wants to be larger than the organization. LeBron, he wants his brand to be larger than the organization itself, larger than, almost practically larger than the NBA. When you mention global status, you basically are a business yourself. He wants to be mentioned when basketball is mentioned, basically. That's how big he wants his brand to be. Whenever basketball is brought up, you can't help but to talk about LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. These are guys with global icon status. So, the rest of these guys are coming, like Durant and D Rose, if he can get better, guys like that. But we're talking about these 3 guys here. These are the biggest names coming up, to restructure their deals and figure out where they're going to go and things of that nature. So, due to the collective bargaining agreement, we're going to see guys moving around a lot in the NBA. It's never going to be, I'm hearing guys talk about, these guys never stay on the same team. They're moving around. The greats never did that, blah, blah, blah. This is a whole different time, whole different generation, whole different agreement with the collective bargaining agreement. With how they structured the deal, you're going to see a lot of guys moving around from team to team. They're never going to stay on the same team, because the max to have a guy on a team is 7 years, really 5, with the way that the collective bargaining agreement is set up. So once you get to that point, you start talking about luxury taxes and how much money these teams gotta pay per superstar on the team, because you got to look at how much money a superstar will be making, or shall I say an elite player, not just a superstar, but an elite player. Because in the game, you got your star, you got a superstar, you got an all-star, and then you have an icon, more like an elite guy, you know, on the team. Elite players, they score 25 and up per game for their entire career. And then you got your all-star who can score, you know, between 20 and 25 on any given night, rebounding, you know, basically like a 20 and 10 kind of person. Then you got your you have your superstar. You know, these are guys like James Harden who can bring it, play pretty big, or shall I say yeah, you know, what's his name, Paul George. You know, guys like that, you know, those are like your superstars. And then you have your star, that, you know, these are guys that are coming, guys like Damian Lillard, LaMarcus Aldridge, you know, guys like that are coming. You know, you can see that they're going to be pretty big names. Sorry, I didn't mention KD. You know, I'm not a big KD fan. You know, I'm kind of hater of KD, you know, but I respect him. He is up there with the elites, you know, so Melo and these guys. But yeah, so when you start talking LeBron James and you start talking this generation of guys moving around, it's going to happen because they want to be able to stretch talent to these small markets in the NBA and move these guys, keep these guys moving around so that they're never settled in any one team, or guys can play together. And this is why the league was so pissed that a loophole was found in, you know, with Miami, with Pat Riley and team being able to get all of those guys to play on one team after the deal was already structured. So they found a way around it, and you know, people were pissed off about it. But the league doesn't want to see that, because they had to deal with that with Michael Jordan being on top and you know, just basically being basketball itself. And then when he retired, the league took a hit as far as people watching and attendance and things of that nature. So they don't want to do that. They want to create multiple superstars and icons across the board, and you know, keep these guys moving around. Now, with that being said, LeBron James he has a short leash to be able to accomplish what he wants to accomplish, because he wants to be a global icon. You can't go to LA because, like I said before, you already have guys out there that have already established a legacy, you know, with, you know, guys like Kareem, Magic, you know, big names in LA, man. He can't go out there and be bigger than LA. I mean, be bigger than the organization itself. He can't do it. He can't go to Chicago and do it. Michael Jordan is Chicago. Michael Jordan is the NBA. He is basketball. People still talk about him to this day. Guy hasn't dribbled a basketball and I don't know when. And then Boston, you know, teams like that already have legacy intact. There's nothing he can do about that. But let's talk about, you know, him. You know, let's talk about where he can go. I mean, he can go to any other team, any other small market, but, you know, he'd have to work harder than he's had to work in these last few years, and he's definitely not going to do that at this point in his career. He's used to winning. He wants to continue to win. So I would say the market for him would be New York, because they don't really have a big legacy intact. They have some great players there. But they don't have anything established as far as championships and true legendary players. So he could go there and he can bust the market wide open. He could stay where he is in Miami, or he can go back to Cleveland. Now, Cleveland star is rising because his name is being mentioned again and going back there and giving them something that they've never had before. So that's a big step for Cleveland. But again, it's not going to happen. You know, he's either going to stay in Miami, where he's already begun to establish his legacy there. He's won 2 rings there, going after a 3rd one, and depending on who they're going to get to come play with him there, then he'll stay. But other than that, I see New York. Catch y'all on the next video.